I'm Rob Keck from Edgefield, South Carolina, and my original experience with the one shot, the governor's hunt, was when I was the CEO of the National Wild Turkey Federation. It was one that is just very, very special to me. There's so many people that were part of this great event. Lots of memories. It's hard to pick from the many that are there, but I guess the first one that really came to mind was meeting in Raymond Chris's garage with the governor of Kansas. I thought, well, this is almost bizarre, but it was really cool because I got to see the closeness, the comradeship of the El Dorado community and people literally from all over the state that saw an opportunity there. But certainly meeting for that first time in Raymond's garage, I said, well, it's got to start somewhere. And it did. And wow, did it ever grow from there? I could feel there was something very special about El Dorado and the community and how they all pulled together. And it was felt in that closeness of Raymond Chris's garage. And to see how everybody interacted there with Marv McCown, who obviously was a field general in making all this come together. The National Wild Turkey Federation, working with Kansas Parks and Wildlife, helped with the reintroduction of wild turkeys there. And so just to get there into Kansas and just see the great numbers of birds had just an impact on me. And it really hit home on just how successful the restoration of the wild turkey really became there. But besides that, I was just amazed when I was at the banquet, the big Saturday night banquet, to see prisoners that were there serving meals. And I thought, man, is this ever cool? I thought everybody there had a role to play, to be greeted at the airport, to be greeted everywhere we went by a group there from El Dorado that made everybody feel special, made them feel at home. Also, when I think about, that early hunt, the very first one, Jess Plummer was my guide, and along with Dr. Warren Rensner, and we had a great time together, able to take a gobbler. But then in the next couple of years, the time I got spent with Everett Kimball and introducing me to some of the landowners like David Green and others, just so many that made long-lasting friendships. Today I was texting with a guy that I hunted with, after Everett sort of retired from guiding, but the Hefkins, Bill Hefkin and his wife, Sue, I mean, we regularly call and text each other, but those friendships go way, way beyond that. The reception, the opportunities that they've provided. I was fortunate enough to draw another Kansas muzzleloader deer tag. And I've come to learn to love so many people in so many great places, the abundance of wildlife and the opportunities that are there for hunters to enjoy the great natural resources of Kansas. People oftentimes ask me, where's your favorite place to hunt? And I'm a little bit reluctant to say, because I don't want to offend anybody, because there's a lot of great places. But I can tell you, Kansas is very, very special to me. It's special in my heart. And I look back over those years of experiences, the recognition that I was able to have there, whether it was winning the, Big Tom event, although we weren't in this thing for competition. We were in it to really showcase what El Dorado had to offer, what the state of Kansas had to offer. I just can't begin to express how special it has been for me to enjoy the fruits of so many people. Somebody that, continues to just be a real hero of mine, of course, was Governor Hayden, who always carrying that wingbone collar around his neck and always happy to show someone how to call. He not only started and founded this hunt, but he's continued to persist, to share with so many people the importance of conservation, the importance of what it means to give back. And I think that message has been carried nationwide. And so that means an awful lot to me personally. But certainly Marv McCallan. I mean, Marv just, I mean, he was a leader. I love his leadership skills. He was a no BS kind of a guy, and he made things happen even when maybe some people objected to it, but it made it work. He is one that, along with Governor Hayden, were probably the most notable. But there's also another one. It was one of the hunters, and that comes from Miss Jeanette Rudy. The kind of example that she set in giving back, the time that she wrote a check for $500,000 on honoring her brother there to a center there in El Dorado that was to help people that I think were underprivileged or had some kind of physical ailments. She set a tone, I think, that was unmatched by any other individual that came and participated in the history of that hunt. She gave of her resources so willingly, but also gave of herself. And she made many great statements on behalf of conservation, on behalf of so many great causes. And she had an impact on me well beyond just the hunt itself. She came to our national conventions of the Wild Turkey Federation. What a great woman, a great example. One thing that sticks in my mind about her was when she donated her entire duck stamp collection to the Smithsonian and to the Postal Museum. She invited me to be there. I think Mike maybe was there. I don't remember, but when she saw me come in, she took in motion to me and she said, "Come on over here." She said, "Everybody in this room thinks I love ducks." Well, we went over to this diorama that had all kind of waterfowl and wetlands, but she said, "Look over there. Do you see that turkey?" She said, "The thing they don't know is that I love turkeys more than I like ducks." And, it just really spoke to her generosity, her knowledge. She was also, I think, a 10-time Tennessee State trap shooting champion. So she was probably the character. If I had to pick one character, probably be her that really stood out over all those years. I got to come back to Bill and Sue Hefkin. They have just been just tremendous friends. And in fact, Bill's mother just celebrated her 102nd birthday last weekend and lives by herself. She's in great health. And I get to hear about all the family going ons, and it just feels like I'm part of Kansas. It feels like I never left there, and makes me always want to look forward to coming back. I mentioned Everett Kimball, certainly was one that for many, many years, we still exchange Christmas cards. I guess if I had one place to go and always felt like home, it would be in El Dorado, Kansas, or Augusta, Kansas, where Bill and Sue live. I think it put Butler County and El Dorado on the map because of the other states that, have designed similar type hunts. I think about states like Alabama, Tennessee, Virginia, Ohio, Oklahoma, all at one time. Some of them continue till today on having governor's hunts, on one-shot hunts, but all of it was stimulated through the very beginning of what El Dorado set into motion. It has brought a distinction, I think, to Kansas as a great state for wildlife, a great state for hunting. It's a great state for people to come and visit and even stay. As long as that drive is there, and I think that it is, I think the one shot has a tremendous future. I think that Mike Hayden will continue to drive that, inspire people, and he will surround himself with the kind of like-minded people that are passionate about not only turkey hunting, but the future of conservation, the importance of wildlife to what it means to the community and to the state. And I'm going to be very bullish in saying that I think it's got a long, long future ahead of itself. And I hope that I can continue to come for many, many years. And, the biggest challenge for me is getting drawn. I didn't get drawn last year for the hunt, but wanted to come. Again, it's more than a hunt. It's the hunters, it's the guides, it's the landowners, it's the community that come together. They're all going to be key to that future. And they're going to be key in preserving the hunting and the conservation way of life. And it's a way that they will blend in the ability to socialize with so many people, old friends and making new friends. and raising money for the scholarships which the hunt supports. You know, it's just amazing the number of people that are part of this and have been part of it since the very beginning. I just want to say that this event is more than one where somebody comes to hunt, win a contest, because when you leave there, everybody is a winner as a result of the one shot.